Man, a nightmare scenario played out for a group of cruisers the other day when they showed up at the cruise terminal only to find out the Royal Caribbean International had overbooked their cruise. Oh, that would be horrible. We also have one of the world's newest cruise ships going to a southern Florida port for the first time, which is exciting. And we have a couple cruise lines that are fed up and they're not going to take it anymore. No new taxation. We're out of here. Cruise news and my views. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Lido, Loca. I'm your host, Tony, here with the latest cruise news and views for your face. For your face on Friday, November the 30th, 2023. Holy moly. November is over. We're on our way to December, and we're about to put a bow on 2023. Still got one more cruise left this year, and that's going to take off in just a couple days out of Fort Lauderdale. Can't wait to get on the Caribbean Princess with my lovely bride and family and friends and my buddy Don. The call of the sea. I'm just an old man in the sea, but that's neither here nor there. Big shout out to everybody that participated in the YouTube poll yesterday, talking about what time you would like to see these daily shows. I was shocked, actually. I didn't think that 9 to 12, and I'm assuming earlier in the day is preferred. I didn't think that that would be the way to go, but I've been making some changes in my life, and that may work out well. So 12:15 is the show today, but maybe tomorrow it comes out at 9:15. I don't know. If you didn't get to participate in the poll, I would love to hear your feedback. What time do you like to see the show? I normally try to release it at 12:15 p.m. Eastern time, but if I shifted it earlier, that means I would have to record the show the previous day, and I may not have all of the news stories that I normally have at 12. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I mean, essentially, I'm not reporting the news. I am just commenting on the news, trying to bring forward stories that I think are informational and educational and entertaining to you guys. But yeah, maybe a new cadence. Maybe all you folks out there voting for the earlier show, maybe you're going to get your wish. I don't know, but we got cruise news. The first cruise news story, let's just talk about it briefly. Super sad story. Came off the Allure of the Seas a few days ago. A teenager was on a Central Park balcony. Those are the balconies that face inside the ship. Fell off of the balcony, fell several floors, sustained a head injury. While he was on the cruise ship, the call went out for blood to help the passenger, transferred off the ship to a medical facility. Teenage boy passed away. Yeah, that's the worst. That's that's the worst. Okay. Cruise news story number 2 takes us to Melbourne, Australia, takes us to the Quantum of the Seas. Well, not quite all the way on the cruise ship, but takes us back to the cruise terminal where several guests arrived at the cruise terminal where they thought they were going to be embarking on the Quantum of the Seas, but instead of embarking on the Quantum of the Seas, they found out that they had been bumped from the cruise because the cruise was oversold. So imagine this, you get flagged and somebody comes over and hands you a piece of paper that says, hey, we know you booked your cruise, but so sorry, there's no cabin for you. And yeah, no cruise for you. They had some options, some compensation, but I don't think any of the options or the compensation quite rose to the level of the fact that they were not going to be cruising. The challenge comes because these folks booked a guaranteed cabin, and these are people that say, I don't care which cabin that I have. Hey, cruise line, you can choose my cabin, and I'll get that at a discounted rate. That's a technique that people use, but this highlights one of the challenges of those techniques. If you do not lock your cruise cabin number in at the time of your booking, well, then you become one of those people that can get booted when there's no cabins left. Royal Caribbean, the computer system, they keep selling cabins, and all of a sudden they get into an oversold situation, which I don't think should ever happen. And you know who gets targeted for getting bumped? The people that book the guaranteed cabins. Woo! Cautionary tale. Could you imagine, hopefully everybody is from the area. Hopefully everybody is from Australia. Hopefully somebody didn't fly into Australia to get on this cruise and all of a sudden get bumped. Could you imagine? I could not. That would be tragic. I mean, I just could imagine the stress and the feelings. And come on, Royal Caribbean, don't overbook your cruises, please. You got the technology. Don't sell cabins more than you have available. What do you think? Leave a comment below. Before we get to the next cruise news story, can I just take less than 2 fingers, 2 minutes worth of your time? I don't know what just happened there. I guess this makes balloons show up on the screen now. I guess I have to apologize. I got scolded pretty heavily by just one person the other day. I got scolded because in a story last week, I talked about the movie Ex Machina, and I said that, hey, at the end of the movie, the robot that was created by these two gentlemen, she deceives the two gentlemen. That's all I said. I didn't really talk about how she deceived and what the outcomes were, but at the end, she deceived the gentleman, and I got scolded. Somebody said, man, what if somebody was watching this and they'd never seen Ex Machina and you just spoiled the movie? How about saying, spoiler alert, what kind of treacherous loser man are you that would spoil a movie? You know what I want to say to that person? Just shut up. Look, I don't know what the statute of limitations is on spoiling, but certainly a movie that came out 9 years ago can be spoiled mildly. Are we really that sensitive with that? You ruined a movie that came out almost a decade ago. Guess what? At the end of The Wizard of Oz, Dorothy wakes up and she's back in Kansas. And all the people that were in color in her concussed the dream they're all around it. You were there, and you were there too, and you were there too. Spoiler alert. All right, back to the show. Cruise news story number 3. Port Everglades, the port that I'll be heading to in a couple days, has officially welcomed the celebrity Ascent for the very first time. I just bring it up because I want to share this picture from the plaque exchange ceremony. Again, one of these cool things that happen when ships show up to ports for the first time. I just wanted to highlight the cool fact that the celebrity Ascent has 2 co-captains, a younger brother and an older brother, and they're doing double duty for the Ascent, which makes it a little bit novel. I wonder, you know how sibling rivalry is. I wonder which brother's the better captain. I'm sure they both think they're the better captain. But yeah, congratulations, Celebrity Ascent, making the rounds to all new cruise ports. Brand new cruise ship from Celebrity Cruise Line. Cruise news story number 4. Guess which cruise line's starting to make a heavier play at gamblers, at casino players? We have a cruise ship coming out next year where the casino will be 50% larger than any previous casino on the cruise line. We're talking about a 9,000 square foot casino, 10-foot ceilings, over 200 slot machines. Do you know which cruise line's doing it? Princess Cruise Line. Everything's going to be big on the new Sun Princess. They're going to have some amazing, huge entertainment venues, and they're also going to have a big old casino, a BOC. I almost said a big AC, but that's not the way we roll here. A BOC. Yeah, I don't know, man. For those that like to test the fates, I don't know that bigger is always better. Recently, I was on the Carnival Celebration, and of course, it was a cruise that was aimed at gamblers, and that very large casino was jam-packed to the gills. I didn't like it. It's going to be a neat thing to evaluate. Will bigger be better when it comes to the new casino on the Sun Princess? Are you out there with that twitchy finger because you like to play the slot machines? What do you think about this bigger casino? Does it entice you? Leave a comment below. Twitchy finger. Ooh, twitchy finger. That should be a song. Shout out Ludacris. All right, I got to tell you about the 2 cruise lines that said, hey, we're sick of these taxes. We're not even going to bring our ships to your port anymore, buddy. But before I do that, let me quickly invite you to subscribe. If you like staying up to date with everything going on in cruising, please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on any of these episodes. It doesn't cost you anything. There's no taxation involved. It just gets you notified when the show comes out, which will probably be 9:15 tomorrow. How about that? Okay, let's go back to Australia. Let's go back to Melbourne, Australia, where the leadership in Melbourne said, "Good day, cruise companies. Guess what we're going to do? Starting next year, like in 4 weeks, beginning of January. I know the season's just starting down here. You know what we're going to do? We're going to increase your taxes by 15%. 15% just off the tip in 4 weeks. The cruise industry is booming everywhere. There's piles of money everywhere. And the government there in Melbourne said, I want some of that money. So they're going to increase the port fees, the taxes, 15%. And while 2 cruise lines received that message and went, no, how about no? How about no? Princess and Cunard both said, appreciate the fact that you are raising the taxes. Really love it that you're doing it with little to no notice. And so what we're going to do in response to your move by moving Pawn to E3, we're going to do the cruise ship gambit. What we're going to do is we're just not going to come there anymore. How about that? There's a lot of cruise ports in Australia. We'll throw our money to some port that's not going to overtax us. In your face. Yeah, I don't know. It's a wild thing. It's crazy. But I've had a couple circumstances lately where you can see that people are just trying to get money and without much consideration for other things. And I guess if you don't have to take it, don't take it. Kudos, Princess and Cunard. We'll see how this turns out, whether it will dissuade these ports from raising their taxes. I'm all for everybody making the money that they have to make, right? If you got to do the infrastructure improvements, all that kind of stuff. But when you're partnered up with somebody, you can't just drop a tax on them in 4 weeks and expect everybody to go, okay, great. We've already got our budget set and stuff like that. Now we got to carve out 15% more to pay the tax man. You guys know how I feel about this. How do you feel about it? Do you think that Princess and Cunard are just being big babies by taking their ball and going somewhere else? Or do you think that's the correct response to unexpected taxation? I don't know. I don't know. Leave a comment below. Thank you so much for checking out the show today. I hope you enjoyed it. You can show your support by hitting the like button. It's just right there under the window. Clicky, clicky, hit the like button. It's Tony for Lido, Loca. Until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye. Cruise News.